Yep, so let's talk about why rituals are important. We are a planet of ritual. We are a planet of cycles. And our bodies have evolved over millions of years with cycles of Earth. Our DNA, no, you can't, no, cats. Then we have the moon and all of the phases, and then we have the sun and the 24-hour cycles, and then we have the seasons. There's so much more going on, than we know. But we are an animal of rituals and cyclical events. But more than that, we are human. And part of the nature of being human is our consciousness, but also our sentience and self-awareness. We are ourself watching the self. Suppose I said you are not your name, you're not where you were born, you're not your skin color, you're not your favorite color, you're not anything that you like. If I said describe yourself and you can't use any of those markers, you're also not anything that you do. Who are you? And when you remove everything, you are the I. So the ability to do that is sentience. And we know that some other animals have sentience, dolphins, some of the great apes, the other primates. And it's interesting, but it comes at a price. And that price is the awareness of what we do and don't have. Most of all, the awareness of the past and the future. So if you see, like my cats, I'll let them out on the back deck and then I'll shut the door completely, but you don't see them freak out over the fact that they are powerless to get back in because I have the cat door locked and closed. They don't freak out about the future. They live very much in the moment. It is the bulk of our mental illness that we can't live in the present moment, that we spend all of our time in the future, mostly worrying about it and our powerlessness over things. And then subconsciously, even if not consciously, our brain is living in the past and is the accumulation of all of our errors and pain to protect us. And all of these things make us uniquely human. And because of this, if we had nothing to anchor us, because we are constantly aware of the past and the past and the future, we would never know where we are and we would float aimlessly. And I know a lot of autistic people have trouble with time management, time, clocking time, living time, the passing of time. I happen to be almost savant about it. But people who have a hard time understanding how much time has gone by, like I know ADD, ADHD people also have that issue, tend to have a lot more anxiety. Because if you are aware of the passing of time and you are very aware of the past and the future, but you can't figure out how much time has passed, it's very disorienting and very unsettling. But even if you had a good job, had money, and you were in a safe country, there's still an odd feeling and this unsettling feeling when all of your routines have been shaken up. Now, it's bad for people like me, for autistic people, but I tend to be okay with it, but most aren't. But even if you are not neurodiverse, it is part of being human to need some sense of order. Unless you were severely abused and you grew up in chaos, then you probably live with anxiety every single day because you have yet to create order in your life. And you're living with a lot of chaos and you're attracted to the chaos. And this addiction to chaos is keeping you mentally ill until you can learn to be still, be alone, and finally seat yourself in your place on the planet. And so we know this. I mean, people with Alzheimer's, people that go into nursing homes, people that live in places that don't have access to sunlight very much, they get disoriented really rapidly. And it causes anxiety. And so we as humans require ritual. I don't believe in the concept that you have to pretend like the past and the future don't exist and only live in the moment. deal with the future when you need to, but live in an awareness of the present moment. And you can have memories of the past. Things can remind you of something sad, and you can be sad about something that happened in the past, and you move that feeling and you move on. People misunderstand living in the present moment, and they think that that means you have to always be here now. And that's unrealistic, just like saying you have to be happy all the time. Contentment is the goal, not happiness. And an awareness of the present moment, because most people are not even aware of the present moment. And what rituals do is they help us honor the past, the future, and the present moment. They help us anchor. So Amanita, if any entheogen is a ritualistic entheogen, it has to be the Amanita. Not just the actual use of it. I would say ayahuasca probably has the title for actual ritualistic use when you actually use it. But as far as honoring it annually and it being a ritual that is celebrated, I think that this mushroom is the icon for tradition, ceremony, gratitude, celebration, and ritual in every way. And it is in folklore that way. It is celebrated in art that way. It is waited for that way. It is harvested as ritual. I look at it, I mean, it stays here on my shelf, and I have it in my kitchen and in my pantry and in my den. Like, I have it in every room in my house. I make artwork with it and celebrate it that way. And I have a channel that forces me to create a ritual where I'm uploading every 3 to 5 days. Also, the fact that it grows it fruits only for one time a year in most places, that alone makes it a ritual. So ritual, this mushroom, and the mushroom voice talks to me about ritual. It lives, the mycelium swells and pulls back in cycles. And when it's fruiting time, it fruits in these waves. But it also does its work according to the moon, the sun, and those cycles. And it needs these waves of temperature as the temperature changes, and it slowly drops, and it drops in these waves of warmer during the day and cooler at night. This mushroom is all about cycles and waves. And when it grows, it shows up, and it's like, guess what, y'all? Celebration time. And so it is about the ancestors. It is about joy and youth. And it is about celebration and ritual. And if any entheogen anchors the past and the future, it's Amanita. And so for me, I see rituals like this. There's 4 rituals, types of rituals. There's tradition, where, well, you know what tradition is. Celebration, gratitude, and creation. So we have traditions that some of us don't like. Rituals have an anchor in the zodiac, in the sky, and in the stars and the planets. And I'm going to link you to a video. If there was ever anything that I wanted you to see, it would be this video. I'm going to put it is called Confessions of a, and I can't say this word, Hierophant. It took my brain out of my head, exploded it into a million pieces, and I have been attempting to put my head back together ever since I saw it. And videos don't do that to me very much. And it's been, I don't know, about 6 years now since I saw it, and he updated it. And the new one's even better. And he talks about how a lot of our rituals today, where they came from originally, I don't know, about 6 years now since I saw it, and he updated it. And the new one's even better. And he talks about how a lot of our rituals today, where they came from originally, starting with the sky. Rituals and Amanita and us go back thousands of years. So along with the celebration and the gratitude, which are sort of intertwined with each other, I mean, we also celebrate and die to things, and there's some that celebrate the dead and celebrate death, and then celebrating the sun and having many rituals with watching the sunset. And then there's the gratitude celebrations. And then there's creation of life. The fact that we can create art, that we create unions of people and create relationships and create gifts. And then we create fire. And so some rituals are just about creation, needing to anchor. It's not anyone's marking their year. It's not anyone's marking their rite of passage. It's not a solstice or a celestial event, but we need more anchoring of time. And so we create something to celebrate, to mark, or to ritualize. And so that's what we've done with tea. Tea is a ritual, and it's a ritual of creation. It's something you can do alone. It's something that you create. It's a moment you're marking out in time, and you can do this all by yourself. And so to me, these are the forms of rituals, and they are so important for being human, for your mental health, for anchoring the passing of time. And what I do is I have daily rituals. And then I have rituals that, like, every Monday I do this thing, every Wednesday I do this thing, every Friday I do this thing, every Sunday I do this thing. And then I try to create like a monthly ritual, like yearly rituals, or maybe something that we do twice a year. And then all of these things help you anchor. And so if you have realized that you've gotten depressed, or you've gotten panic-ridden, or you've gotten lazy and you've gotten scattered, and you've let a lot of things go, you haven't attended a function, you haven't done something to celebrate on your own for something, if you've let a lot of your traditions go because you fell out of your religion or your family of origin, or you've lost a family, if you've gotten to a place from loss, from taking care of yourself, from saying no, from moving on and making your life better, and you've found yourself in a place where you've lost all of the rituals and traditions you were given, then it is extremely important for your mental health that you start creating these types of rituals. So I wrote them down, and I want you to start creating rituals for all of these reasons. I want you creating all of these different kinds, and then you can celebrate with me. I have rituals that I'm doing, that I do on the channel, and I'm teaching you about tea, and tea absolutely needs to be part of your ritual. And if you can only do a tea ritual like once a week, that is a start. So watch my video on creating a tea ritual, because it's very, very important. And I'm making tea recipes, but I want you to please, they've changed the algorithm now, and it is about engagement. But even if it wasn't, sometimes I ask you for your comments, and only a few of you actually answer to what I ask of you. But I really want to hear about your rituals. This is important to me, but it's important to the people that come after you, that see this video. They need to see that other people also lost their traditions and rituals, or they need to see that other people created unique ones. They need ideas for rituals. So I'm asking you if you would please leave us some of your rituals or what you've lost. And I wound up losing all of mine, and I have had to create all of mine. And after all of my therapy and all of my loss, and then rebuilding my life, and then losing it again through panic and all of that, and then my children growing up and no longer wanting a lot of the little rituals, and then a lot of things that were about alcohol, and then I don't drink anymore. Like, my life has been nothing but the loss of most of my rituals, and I have been slowly creating new ones. It is so important. So I want to ask you to take this seriously. If you don't have a daily ritual, at least one, a weekly ritual, at least one, a monthly ritual, at least one, a biannual, at least twice a year ritual, and a yearly ritual, and you are struggling, I can promise you that is part of why you're struggling. And even if you're depressed, especially if you're depressed, especially if you have anxiety, you need to start creating these rituals. We'll talk more about rituals. I'll do a live video about rituals. We're going to do a live video on the 2nd Saturday of August. I'll get a date. I don't have a calendar in front of me. I'll get a date and I'll put that post on the community tab. So subscribe to the channel, you'll get that post. I read what y'all are dealing with. I'm with you. My heart is with you. I hurt with you. I think about all of you. You rotate through my mind and in my heart. I think about you. I worry about you. I'm concerned. I love your joys when you can find them. I struggle with your struggles. I carry you with me. And I want you very much to know what it feels like to start to anchor yourself in rituals. So traditions are things that our ancestors just do to create some sense of anchored, handing down from the past to the future. So it's something that our ancestors either knew was important for our survival, learning about migrations, learning about rules of what to eat, what not to eat, whatever, honoring, changes of seasons and stuff like that. But the elders enforce these traditions to teach the youth so that things continue to get handed down. And this includes storytelling and stuff like that. We have celebration, which is important because gratitude is probably the most important mental health thing that we can do. And I'll talk about gratitude another time, so I'm not going to belabor it here and now. But gratitude is probably the most important emotion that humans need. And we absolutely need to celebrate on a regular basis. And if you've gotten nothing from my channel, I think that you have seen me engage in regular celebration. So, I love you, beautiful people. And thanks again for being here with me on this fantastic journey.